Sourdough has a very special place in the culinary world, and I got to learn all about it and make some delicious pizzas participating in a community event for children in various backgrounds in Rockaway, New York. So, I'm going to talk to you this week about sourdough and pizza and this epic event. Nootritious. Sourdough is a healthy alternative to white and whole wheat bread. It's more nutritious, easier to digest, and the probiotics from the ferment make your gut bacteria happy. So since they didn't teach me about sourdough in culinary school, I jumped at the opportunity to sous chef with Sam, and this is how he taught me to make the most delicious sourdough pizza. Here's the ingredients. You're gonna need a scale and 007 flour. You can find all the ingredients and everything you need for this recipe on my website with the link below. I know my starter is ready to go because it's doubled in size, it's full of life, it has different sized bubbles in it and an uneven texture to the top of it. But there's another way to tell if it's ready to go, and that is the float test. So we're gonna start by making the dough by adding 315 grams of water and 50 grams of sourdough starter. And we're gonna make sure that it floats. Woo woo! Passes the float test. That means it has CO2 trapped inside of it, that it's gonna start the fermentation and rise the dough, creating that beautiful airy crust that we want to it. Add 12 grams of salt and 12 grams of olive oil, and then adding 500 grams of 00 flour or all-purpose flour. Just going slow so the flour soaks up all that moisture. Starting with the spatula, and then I like to get in there with my hands. I'm gonna cover it with a damp towel and leave it in my warm room for 1 hour. It's been an hour, and now we're gonna start creating that ball with the smooth side and the seam side. And we're gonna do that by pulling up one side and pushing it into the center. Stretch and fold. And then now that I have my beautiful smooth ball and my seam side down, I'm gonna cover it, let it sit out for 1 hour, and then do that again. It's been an hour. You can see how much the dough has risen. You can see all the different air bubbles on the side of the glass. Grab the side, stretch it up, push it down into the middle, creating that tension, creating that smooth side and a seam side, just tucking it up into itself. Cover it with a damp towel for 1 more hour. Woo! We're gonna do the last and final stretch and fold. Pulling it up, pushing it in, covering it with a damp towel, leaving it out for 1 hour, and then putting it in the fridge overnight. See you tomorrow. It's been 24 to 72 hours, and it's 4 hours before I wanna make pizza, so let's make some dough balls. Cutting it into 4 equal pieces. That should weigh about 220 grams each, and that will make 4 10-inch pizzas. There's a few different ways to do this, so let me show you some of my favorite techniques. Start by doing the same thing, pulling the outside in, and then just twisting and squeezing, almost like a water balloon. Getting that nice tension that's gonna trap in all that CO2 and rise our pizza so beautifully. Some people really like to use a dough scraper, so I'm going to start by doing the same thing, pulling the outside in, and then using the scraper in the palm of your hand, just twisting the ball together. Whatever way works best for you is fine. I'm going to cover that with a damp towel and let it rise for 4 hours. Pizza time soon. Flour the table, and then seam side up, so it slips off the peel easily. I'm gonna use my fingers and push any air bubbles to the edges. And then using my hands like claws, I'm just gonna let the dough stretch itself over the weight of my hands. You wanna give it a little toss, feel free. Once you're happy with it, we're gonna dress it on the pizza peel. Make sure we have lots of semolina flour so the pizza will just slide right off onto the stone. Making sure it passes the slide test. And we're gonna sauce it up using the back of the spoon to spread it out. Toss on some vegan mozzarella or whatever toppings you want. That's what's so fun about a pizza party, is just playing around with different colors, different flavors, seeing what works, what doesn't. Give it a slide test and then pop it in the oven for 8 minutes. The oven is as high as it goes right now. It's rocking at 500 degrees and the pizza stone heated up with the oven. So I'm gonna check this in 5 minutes, give it a little turn with the tongs, and let's see how it turns out. And topping it off with some fresh basil. So good. Perfection. That beautiful airy crust, exactly what I was looking for. Healthy, delicious sourdough pizza. Have fun at your pizza party. Go nuts with the toppings. That's what makes it so special. And I'll see you next time on Nootritious. Woo, pizza, it's a pizza party.